You know, back in 1974, when I was just a little youngster still trying to figure out the game of football, I heard my uncle arguing with my dad, who had became a big Washington Redskin fan, which today many of you young people probably don't remember, but they were the Washington Redskins before they became the Washington Commanders. And I couldn't understand why my uncle, who was a diehard Dallas Cowboy fan, was arguing with my dad. Well, he told me that the reason why he left the Dallas Cowboys was because he felt like they was racist. So I'm here to talk about it because y'all heard it. Y'all, the shots done went out regarding the new hire of the Dallas Cowboys, but we're here to talk about it right here on the replay. So let's get busy. Let's go. What's happening? Welcome in, man. We are live right here on the replay where we still try to make your day. I am your host, Real Deal Jabril, and I'm going to be bringing up two special guests today that's going to help me talk about these Dallas Cowboys and this, I think, what I would call the most craziest hire probably since, I don't know, probably since Dave Campo in the Dallas Cowboys organization. We're going to talk about it, but before we get into any of that, I need for y'all to do me one small favor to hit that like, subscribe, share, and notification button so we can continue to grow the channel. I know I haven't been here in a second, but I'm here today because I got to talk about it. It's been percolating. People been all on the media, and they're going to be dealing with this coming up, I know, on Stephen A. Smith, on First Take, and all these other sports channels, but we're going to get ahead of this thing because this is in our backyard. But I got two guys that's going to join me, former Redskins, former, I don't know about the one other brother, but the other one used to be a Dallas Cowboys, but he jumped ship after Jimmy Johnson left. And you know what? I'm not that far behind. So I'm going to bring him to the stage right now, man. Joining me, man, is none other than my man, Sato Cliff, all-time leading receiver, Mr. Derek Zeno, my boy in the house. And also coming to the stage is my man David Windham, man, former Jackson State. If I get it wrong, David, just correct me, man. Former Jackson State Tiger, man, former linebacker with the Washington Redskins. He was with the Fun Butts back in 1987, y'all. So they joining me today, and we're here to talk about this crazy hire. And I'm gonna try to get my little 2 cents in, but I know my man right in the middle, he got a whole lot to say regarding this house. So my brothers, welcome to the stage, the platform. I appreciate y'all joining me on the show, man. Let's get into this thing. And right off the bat, we just gonna get straight into it, D. What do you think about this Dallas Cowboys hire with Brian Schottenheimer, man?
I think it's a great hire. A great hire.
For you.
A great hire. Because now Jerry finally got his puppets. Now Jerry's finna call the plays.
He's gonna call the plays.
He's calling the plays. Now he is right now the offensive coordinator right now.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. But David, what comes to mind, man, when you think about this hire, man, with the Dallas Cowboys, man?
I think they should have hired Freddie James from the Carter Cowboys. If been better off, they would have got another real cowboy.
Yeah.
Who was that? Oh, Schottenheimer. I remember his daddy was a loser too.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something, man. To be honest with you, man, I didn't, all the candidates that was mentioned. We're gonna talk about this in just a second because of all the candidates that was mentioned, they kept throwing it. I knew. I said, "Oh, here come the BS." They threw out Kellen Moore. They threw out. I even think Pete Carroll got a little nod here or there. Of course, Brian Schottenheimer seemed to be that dark horse that was bringing up the rear because I wasn't even looking at him at first. And then they tried to give us a smoke screen talking about, oh, it wasn't Jerry. Jerry really wanted Deion Sanders, but it was Stephen Jones that was pushing the issue. I said, hold on, man, stop the phone. Stop right there. Because you can't convince me if this man truly wanted to hire Deion Sanders, he would have. There's no way, it's no other way of looking at it. This is not when, it's not when they was trying to say, well, he wanted to hire Johnny Manziel And then Steven talked them out of it and said we needed a offensive lineman, so they went ahead and drafted Zach Martin. Okay, fine. We're talking about someone who's supposed to lead your organization amongst men, Derek.
Among men, correct.
So the smoke screen that they was throwing at the fans, man. I don't understand it. I don't think they even respect the fan. But you was a Dallas Cowboy fan. Let's get that understood, y'all. He got his Redskins hat on, which, like I said, I'm saying Redskins because they probably be bringing back the name itself, which I kind of think I wish they would though. But you played for the organization, man, for a minute, and then you seen the good years in the 90s, winning the Super Bowl years, and then Jimmy left. But you say what, man? After Jimmy get out of here, man, what made you to go ahead and just pivot and leave?
Well, the thing was Jimmy. Jimmy was he was a visionary, and then the thing was he was a champion. He was a winner, and they were scared of Jimmy, man. They feared him, so that gave him a lot of clientele. And what happened was that. It just made him not like God, but it made him so reputable to where he knows that people's going to follow him, and he was a leader. And the thing is this, and he didn't play. So, and they respected that. Yeah. And that's what they need, because he was a leader of men too.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree. David, what you I guess I don't know, were you ever Dallas Cowboy fans at all, or you just was just always rolling with the Redskins?
Dallas Cowboy up until February last year. She was like the #1 Dallas Cowboy fan. But I was a Cowboy fan when I left the Redskins and moved to Dallas. And when Jimmy Johnson came along, I peeped the whole card because the team only had 5 starters. And people don't realize that they only had 5 starters. The rest of the guys were interchangeable. Like Derek said, Jimmy scared the hell out of everybody. One game in particular, I don't know if y'all remember, Caseon, a running back named Caseon.
Yeah, Casey.
He fumbled the ball in the game that the Cowboys was leading, and Jerry cut him at halftime.
Yeah.
He fumbled the ball and came to the bench and said, "Number 1, Mom. I'm number 1, Mom." And Jerry Jones, not Jerry Jones, but Jimmy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Johnson.
You cut him at halftime. You ain't heard of him since.
And they feared him.
Yeah, well, we know, man. One thing about Jimmy, man, he was definitely a nonsense guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was all about football, man, and he made those guys earn their check. You know what I'm saying? And they treated it as such. It was a job. They was disciplined, man. And man, you can't allow a lot of, you talking about what's a 53-man roster now, man, but you talking about 53 different personalities. And everybody's personality is not the same. That's why he said he always had, it was different levels to this. He said he wouldn't treat the guy that was probably drafted at the time, they had longer rounds, but he wouldn't treat the guy that was drafted in the 8th, 9th, 10th round like he would a Michael Irvin. Right. So because he knew on Sundays, Mike didn't put that extra work in. Mike was gonna come produce, man. You know what I'm saying? So we haven't seen that. We got a glimpse of it a little bit with Bill Parcells, but at the same time, I think Bill Parcells, man, had enough as well.
Yeah, he had enough of Jerry. Yes.
Yeah, he had enough as well, man. And I'm just, I don't know if you all know anything other than the fact that Brian Schottenheimer is the son of Marty Schottenheimer. Let me just give a little background. I didn't go all the way in his background, and when did he start? Became a GA or coaching with this team, whatever. But the fact is, he's never had a head coaching position, which brings me to this particular question. We'll get into this because I scrolled it by a second ago. They talk about this Rooney rule. So you see what I got up coming across the bar. Rooney rule or Rooney fools? Rooney rules or Rooney fools? And I'm simply saying that simply because the Dallas Cowboys had 5 African-American candidates. Let's count them out. You had Aaron Glenn, who once played with the Dallas Cowboys, a Texas boy, went to Texas A&M.
From Houston, Texas. He's from Houston. He went to Nimitz. Nimitz here. Yeah, he's a Houston boy. You had Aaron Glenn. You had, of course, Deion Sanders. You could have really taken a look at Brian Flores, who finished 14-3 with the Minnesota Vikings
he had head coaching experience with the Miami Dolphins, right? Brian Flores. You brought in Leslie Frazier, who's a long time a player in the game with the Chicago Bears. You bring him in, just a little rendezvous, and you actually could have made a switch if you wanted to, perhaps with Mike McCarthy going to the Steelers, since he's from Pittsburgh, and trying to bring in Mike Tomlin. Now, I'm not saying that these guys would have wanted to work under a Jerry Jones. And I kind of, when I heard Troy Aikman, when he made the comment regarding it is a high-profile position, but I don't know if it's the most coveted job that anybody would want to work. But what I'm saying is, instead of bringing somebody in just to, do your little due diligence or your little checkpoints because you want to impress the Rooney Rule and then make us look stupid, it makes me go back, as I was going through my monologue on the show when I was a young boy. I used to hear my uncle and my dad arguing. And this is even crazy. Y'all, you know this, Derek. I mean, when you talk about Madison and Lincoln, two of the biggest rivals back then. So my dad goes to Lincoln High School, my uncle goes to Madison. My dad, he loves the Washington Redskins, and my uncle, he loves the Dallas Cowboys. So that was a recipe for disaster. But I couldn't understand my dad why he hated the Cowboys so much. And this is what he told me. He said, son, because they racist. Kind of what you were saying, D. Now, stay with me for just a second. He said because they was racist when they cut his classmate, his friend, Dwayne Thomas. You remember Dwayne Thomas? Y'all remember him that played running back with Cowboys?
Went to Madison too.
Yeah. And as a little boy growing up, your dad is like your superhero to you. So I think that what kind of got me in this dichotomy, if you will, because I grew up watching the Cowboys first, but my allegiance was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then somehow when I was playing ball, you know how you got to rep 214-972. You get to college, everybody representing where they from. I couldn't let dudes just poo-poo on the Cowboys like that. So it won me over, right? But I always had this swing back and forth. So when my dad was telling me this, man, and for years I tried to push that back. No, man, Jerry pay these guys. No, Jerry's not Jerry. But let me tell you something, man. That little picture that they showed Jerry when he was 14 years of age watching a young black girl couldn't get in.
Yeah.
You remember, do y'all remember back in the 90s, there was a situation when Emmitt Smith didn't get his money. Right. But when Troy Aikman money came up, he paid Troy and he didn't have to miss no game. And there was a big thing about that. Is there racism at Valley Ranch? And I was like, nah, don't please say it ain't so. Please don't. But this right here, bro, you've never had an offensive African-American coordinator. Let's start with that. You brought Ray Sherman in years ago. You didn't hire the man. You never had an offensive coordinator. You never had really a defensive coordinator. Now, some people talk about Brian Stewart, who was on the staff with Wade Phillips, but he was just a yes man. They gave him a little bit of range. He called a few defensive plays and made him he was under the title defensive coordinator, right? But Wade Phillips didn't give him full range. They just gave him the title. So you never had a full defensive coordinator, African-American, let alone a head coach. But just African-American offense and defensive coordinators, man, that's extra money in your pocket. So when you all hear this, man, think about this. Again, we're talking about the Rooney Rule. Jerry Jones, man, I can't defend him anymore because I think he's in a closet racist, man. But Derek, I'm coming to you because you love to, you don't have no filter. You're going to call it like you see it.
Hey, I'm going to tell you about Jerry. Jerry wants to be the head coach, man. I don't know why. And the first thing he already said, they said, Jerry, why don't you go ahead and hire a GM? He said, why? He said, because what I'm going to do, I'm trying to fire myself. I can't fire myself. So he wants control over everything. And to me, that's slave mentality. That is slave mentality. And if someone try to buck him or try to buck up to him, he's not going to have that. He even said that to his kids. He told his kids that, hey, look, let me enjoy this because when I'm gone, all this is y'all's. So who's going to buck him? Who?
Which is why I said a second ago, Derek, it makes no sense to me if he really wanted Dion. They were talking about, well, Steven was sitting there trying to push Brian, Schottenheimer to the forefront. He was going back and forth with Jerry. I said, man, I'm not buying that. But David, let me come to you. When you think about the Rooney Rule, and just in general too, because you can talk in general. We know, granted, yes, I'm so happy to see Aaron Glenn at least get an opportunity, man, to coach, get a head coaching position. I met, Aaron, personally. We even did some business together in Houston with his real estate company, 31 Properties, back in the day. I sat on a plane with him once, man, and we talked football and talked business and so forth. So this was at the time right before he got ready to retire. But to see him and the moves that he's made and the progression in which he made them to be where he is today, man, I can't do nothing but applaud the brother, man. So I'm glad to see him get hired, but he didn't even get interviewed, by Jerry Jones. But again, David, when you think about the Rooney Rule in and of itself, what really resonates with you when we talk about the Rooney Rule?
Well, they put one of the most prevalent owners to ever come through the NFL with Pittsburgh. And let's go back with you.
Check your David. If you can, check your voice. Oh, there you go. You're loud, clear.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Steeler fan, which is not a Steeler fan. I'm a Steeler Nation. I'm part of Steeler Nation.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to help my man Bone. But
not to get off the story, but my mother went to see her father in Pittsburgh March 12th of 1961. She got on the Eastern Airlines flight coming back to Mobile, Alabama, and she went into labor. And they turned the plane around, I was finna put my mother off the plane. She said, no, I want to have all my kids in Mobile. My mother flew 3.5 hours on a flight from Pittsburgh back to Mobile, Alabama. And I was born in the ambulance on the tarmac in Mobile, Alabama, March 14th. So my first pillow and everything was a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Wow.
At 61, they weren't doing a whole lot of women, but the Rooneys have always been a family that took care of people, not just black folks.
People in general, right.
People in general. So when they gave the job to Mike Tomlin years ago, all they asked him to do was just keep winning like he been doing. And I mean, the man, 19 years, they never had a losing season.
Never.
Wow.
He was 8-8 a couple of times, but that's not losing.
That's not losing.
And when they wouldn't give him what he needed for quarterbacks and stuff, he still shuffled all the quarterbacks in the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Yes, he did.
And boom, and still made them win. Mm-hmm. Now the Rooney Rule should be, and like you said, it should be the racist rule instead of the Rooney Rule, because again, when you look at the two most racist cities in America, you got to go to Boston, which is New England, and you got to come to Dallas. Those are the two most racist cities in America. I mean, other cities like Houston, blacks are striving, but Dallas, they let us know where our place is. There's not a black that live in Highland Park, and they won't let a black move to Highland Park. Certain parts of McKinney, they won't let you move. Certain parts of Frisco, they won't let you move. I don't care how much money you got. So that being said, Jerry was a mediocre ball player himself. When he struck it rich with that oil all them years ago, he brought his best friend in who was a decent ball player in Jimmy Johnson. And he went on and bought the team. He wants to show that he has the biggest penis in the game. Because when he first came to the Cowboys, he did some stuff back then, and they made jokes about it. When Michael Irvin used to get in trouble, they say Jerry Jones told Michael, Michael, it's Nike, not Nookie. And then he said it's Reebok. I mean, it's Nike, not Nookie, and it's Pepsi, not Coke. He balked the whole league and went against the whole league, and he put because Reebok was the team, was the symbol of the NFL. Yeah. He put in the old stadium, he put Nike stuff up and Pepsi up when it was Coca-Cola and Reebok. So he went against everybody, him and Al Davis, and won. And still winning to this day. He built that big old pretty stadium in Arlington when they had memoriam where you couldn't build nothing else out there by Six Flags and the Texas Rangers Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is true story. John Wiley Price, the county commissioner, found $1.5 billion. A lot of people don't know DFW Airport has nothing to do with Dallas. Not one inch of that airport sits in Dallas County. The whole thing sits in Tarrant County, which is Arlington.
Yeah.
So when old boy found that money, he was going to take that money and expand Fair Park. Jerry Jones like, wait a minute, and then Arlington had a black mayor back then too, Zeno.
Yeah,
and the black mayor said, no. Let me talk to the powers that be, and we'll give them to lift that moratorium, and we'll let them build. Boom, they built that big old ass stadium, and Jerry only paid like $500 million. It went over. It was supposed to be $1.2 billion to build the stadium, but it ended up being like 2-point-some billion. So who can get a stadium that big for $500 million?
I know.
Wow.
But Jerry again, he pulled a Houdini on some folks. And then when you look at how he has done the athletes, why'd you keep Romo around as long as you kept Romo around?
Hold that right there, David, right there. That's a great point. Hold that thought right quick.
Okay.
We're going to get right, but hold on just a second, because I want to engage with my people that's over in the chat and the comment. And for those of y'all who are just joining us, man, never been to this platform, this is the replay. I'm your host, Real Deal Jabril. But I like to say the replay where we still try to make it day. And joining me are two of one of our NFL finest, man. Like I say, my guy in the middle, Mr. Derek Zeno, South Oak Cliff finest, man, all-time leading receiver. My man went to the CFL and he played in the NFL. And you got linebacker David Whittingham that played with the Washington Redskins back in 1987. So these brothers are joining me today, and we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys and this hire of Brian Schottenheimer, amongst other things, as it relates to the Rooney Rule. That's why I say Rooney Rule or Rooney Fools. Are they just fooling us? So let me come over to the chat, because I saw my man David. David, welcome to the show, man. I saw y'all put your deal up. He said, guys, you heard about Leslie Frazier will be the secondary coach, and Michael Spurlock will be the wide receivers coach. Me personally, I don't know if you guys have. The only thing that I've heard about as far as defensive coordinator, them bringing over Rex Ryan, I guess if Mike Zimmer, which more than likely Mike Zimmer won't come back, but Rex Ryan may be Dallas' defensive coordinator. But if that's a fact, then thank you for that information, David. I'm not aware of Leslie Frazier being a defensive coordinator, but if he gets the job, will that satisfy my overall feelings, man, as it relates to the Dallas Cowboys since 1960 up until now? No, it will not, because again, you had 5 qualified, I feel, African-American head coaches that could have came in and did the job. And if you're going to go off of this hope or let me see, well, again, been there, done that with Dave Campo. Dave Campo should have never been the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, but you did that because you felt like him being a part of Jimmy Johnson's staff, you wanted to thinking that you can, strike, lightning in the bottle with him and him possibly getting you a Super Bowl. Why would you ever think that? It beats me. So this kind of seems like one of those hires to me. If you're going to have someone like Brian Schottenheimer, who he come from good pedigree, because Marty was a good coach with the Kansas City Chiefs, Cleveland Browns. He had them dogs back in the day with Hanford Dixon them and them boys, and Menifee and them.
Yeah, some
He
players.
had them dogs, He just couldn't get out of the AFC Championship game. So, but again, it's been 30 years, guys. 30 years. And I'd rather have somebody who's proven and who's really solid than a whole nother 17 weeks now wondering what if. So again, but let me shout out to Sherry. Also, Sherry, man, is one of my it's my people right here, man. She said, "Hey, replay. She's a Pittsburgh Steelers gal. I'm gonna say gal. She's down with the black and yellow. I'm surprised she ain't swinging a towel because she is down with that black and yellow, David. So big shout out. Oh, let me give my brother Muhammad Samad. I'm giving him the universal greetings, man. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Muhammad Samad, he said, I was denied the opportunity to try with the Cowboys when they was on Forest Lane in North Dallas.
Wow.
Hey, I don't know what you have left in the tank, my brother, but I'm quite sure you might come out right now, man. In fact, I might try to offer David and Derek a contract, man. They might still have something left. Maybe I'll put my cleats back on, man, Because I don't. Cause listen, man. 30 years is 30 years, man. 30 years.
Oh
is 30
my
years.
goodness. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So again, let me put up this last comment, and we'll get to that Romo in just a second. He says, guys, the Rooney Rule is a damn joke. David, do you know where Robersdale, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, Robersdale's is Al Robersdale? I don't know if you're familiar with that. I don't know who Robersdale is. If you can give us some David on that name right there to help us out, we will address that. But let's get back to Romo. You was about to say in referencing Romo, David, you were saying something in reference to how I guess Jerry had paid him the money, was bringing him back, or I don't want to finish your thought on that, but go ahead.
Well, it was he's used to hiring individualists. Romo was an individualist. Since Troy, they've had before Troy, including Roger, they was all individualists. Just so having to have a bunch of good people around them because of Textram and I'm drawing the blank. I got the concussion thing going.
Oh man,
what's the head coach name from years ago?
From Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
Tom Landry?
Yeah, Tom Landry.
Tom Landry. Oh, yeah.
I'm saying, but he was able to coach what they brought in, and Textram was about bringing good talent in. You bought the system like Dwayne did, then they got rid of you.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can hear you. It's kind of fading out just a little bit again.
Whenever you brought somebody in that balked the system a little bit, they sent you on your way packing. And Dwayne was a hell of a player. Like I say, back on the Mockingbird days, Dwayne used to walk to practice, I heard. Talking to Mel Renfro, Dwayne used to walk to practice. And they didn't like the fact that he would still go down and get some Henderson's chicken in South Dallas and stuff like that. They didn't like that.
But
if you ever go against I'm saying, but he walked back and forth to practice back in the day. He was one driver's car, he would walk to practice. Then he would walk down to Henderson Chicken down off of
Oakland at the time in South Dallas?
No, not Oakland. It was over there off of over there near Forest, wasn't it?
It was along by Forest.
Yeah, it was one on there.
But he would walk
Hamilton
a lot
Park.
of places.
That's
he
it.
went. Yeah, Hamilton Park. He would walk a lot of places.
Okay, I'm thinking about Hall's
he would walk. Yeah, he would walk a lot of places, and it was like, we paying you all this money, which wasn't a lot of money back then, and they tried to make him feel like he should have been happy to be on the team because they had brought in Mr. Calvin Hill.
Calvin Hill.
Yeah.
And Calvin was a great man, but he wasn't running back that Dwayne was.
No.
If they had gave Dwayne the chance, and they just didn't want a black man to be that big, like they didn't like the fact that Bullet Bob did what he did.
But see, not to cut you off here, but the part of the Dwayne Thomas situation surrounded around his, I don't think he ever did it or came out publicly and did it, but I think his consciousness was shifting. There was a shift in his consciousness because he was listening to the Nation of Islam at the time.
Yes, he was.
And when they would come out on the field, he would be way in the back when they was doing calisthenics and all that. So that was one of the things that kind of led to, started things to collapse as it related to Dwayne Thomas and the Dallas Cowboys. But at the same time, I think they was living in an era, man, where we was coming out of the 60s and the civil rights movement, and things were happening so fast that some people weren't able to make those adjustments. But to your point though, David, it's just like when I tell people all the time, when Charlie Waters first got with the Dallas Cowboys, he was playing cornerback. And I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but they matched up against the Los Angeles Rams at the time. They had a receiver by the name of Harold Jackson, number 29, right?
29.
And Harold Jackson, from Jackson State. You're right, my brother. Yeah. And he burnt Charlie Waters, I think, like 4 times on Monday Night Football. That's how he got moved over to safety. So, they was always trying to cover players up, even at that time, knowing that he probably should have never been at the corner position in the first place. Let's just get that understood. But let me say something real quick to my man David that joined us too, man. He said he was a white guy Let me put his comment back up so y'all can read. He said, I'm a white man. Guys, you're spot on. Jerry's not going to hire a black man. And and I really, again, I don't want to, I'm one of those individuals where I try to really, really give a situation the benefit of the doubt, but sometimes you got to call it like you see it, man.
Like you see
and I'm just scratching my head because, I didn't realize this, guys. I didn't realize this because now this was coming from the New York Giants fans. They was talking about in this year's draft coming up with Shedeur Sanders that the Giants wouldn't take Shedeur Sanders because they've never drafted a black quarterback. Now, I know Anthony Wright played with the Dallas Cowboys. If y'all remember Anthony Wright that played with the Cowboys for a minute, he went over to the Baltimore Ravens or what have you. Then he went to the New York Giants. But when he said about drafting a quarterback, I was like, okay, wow. Now, I didn't know that. Jerry and them did draft Quincy Carter, but I think it was more out of the way the position was evolving. It wasn't the president, the pocket, the classic pocket passer, because the game was moving about these quarterbacks who was more mobile, and he was the best quarterback on the board. Now, again, when I look at a Jerry Jones, I know the people that he surrounded himself with, African-American people, this, that, and another. But I'm talking about putting these individuals in leadership positions, man, and why you haven't brought in an offensive, even if we wasn't talking about a head coaching position, the mere fact that you didn't think that Ray Sherman, he was a dog offensive coordinator at the time with the Green Bay Packers. You didn't even hire him, Jerry. And you didn't even push for these boys, man, to become defensive coordinator. Heck, if you ask me, I'm looking at Al Harris, right?
I was just about to say that. I said, why you looked over him? How are you going to look over him?
How you looking over him when you got when you look at Aaron Glenn's travels, how he sojourned through the Cleveland Browns defensive back coach, New Orleans Saints defensive back coach. Then he moved over to Detroit, become the defensive coordinator. He just constantly showing you that, man, not only did I play this game, I know this game, I study this game, I can do this game. So, Derek, I mean, again, we're still talking about the Rooney rule or Rooney fools. Have we been fools? Have we been manipulated, man? Have we been, dust tossed in our eyes, man, when you think about the Rooney rule?
I think so. I think it is. I think it's just it's like smoke and mirrors, just to satisfy the other man or satisfy really the owners. So that's what it's really trying to satisfy them. So that their hands won't get dirty. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
What, David, you brought up a good point with Romo as well, man, because Romo got his money, he got paid. It was a long time. I think if Dak don't come in and have that fabulous rookie year where they finish 13 and where they start out 13, whatever, they finished 13-3, but I think they were still playing 16 games at the time. Yeah, I think they were still playing 16. Yes, okay. He had that, which I'm gonna be honest with you, that was the year when I was saying if there was ever a time to bring a quarterback, I think that would have been the time. Even though Dak was playing lights out, I just felt like Romo's experience against the Green Bay Packers, I think, could have prevailed in that game because I think the lights got too bright. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we look at Dak Prescott today and nothing has really changed. Because, man, once this guy starts to get like a deer in headlights, his eyes get glossy for some reason. It happened last year against the Green Bay Packers. Me and a buddy of mine, we were sitting there watching the game, and he just blurted out. He said, "See, that's what I'm talking about right there, Jabril. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes." And so somebody said, "Well, Dak, he don't play defense. You can't." I said, "Hold on, stop right there. He may not play defense, but he damn sure don't have to contribute to the ball roll, snowballing down because when he threw the pick and the boy ran it back for a touchdown from Green Bay, he sat on the route. And then after the game, in post game, they go to the microphone and asked him, well, how did what coverage was y'all in and what was you reading when Dak threw? He said, man, we always knew every time CeeDee Lamb he slide into the slot, he said he always looked one way to CeeDee. All he did was sit on the route and undercut it, man, and picked it off. So what I'm saying, Tom Brady and them, and I know we kind of getting away from a little bit, but I'm just making this quick point. Tom Brady and Dak Prescott, Tom gonna try to match you point for point. Even Romo, if you want to get into, because he really was a gunslinger. He would try to match you point for point the way he did with I got Manning. Not Archie Manning, but Peyton Manning. You remember when he was with the Denver Broncos? They was in that shootout in AT&T Stadium. He gonna try to gunsling it out with you, but Dak at that time I don't know. He don't have that. He don't have that ilk, man. I think when the lights come on in the postseason, at least he haven't shown it. And we look at what the kid, we're gonna get to y'all Washington Commanders in just a second with this kid, Jaden Daniels. Cause I think you think y'all found one and all that, and he's the second coming of Robin Griffin. Y'all ran Robert out. So I say I ain't gonna let y'all put that much pressure on a young brother like that. But anyway, David, Derek over there laughing too, man, because I know I've been having to hear it, man. I've been having to hear it, but that's okay, man. Big shout out to the Washington Commanders doing their thing. But again, we're talking about the Rooney Rule and the Rooney fools. And I'm gonna say that, and I don't like to be beating anyone's fool. I'm not a fool. I'm not saying that literally. Right. I'm just saying, you hope for the best because we're living in different times, man. And you will hope that it's like since we just celebrated Martin Luther King Day on Monday, don't judge a person by the skin color, but the content of his character. Can he do the job? This is what we get. I don't really keep up score with that. But when you keep putting it in our face and putting it in our face and putting it in our face, and we see these qualified candidates, we see them, and you just roll over and just say, no, I think we'll go ahead and hire Brian Schottenheimer. Mm-hmm. Come on, David, talk to me, man. That just don't sit well.
It's a situation where they hired a bunch of losers over and over again from one job to the next job. They just kept bouncing around the league. Now they're starting to hire a bunch of young boys who have a little pedigree with them. Just because my dad was a coach, that don't make me no hell of a ball player. That don't make me no hell of a coach because I grew up in the coaching system. That's what they're trying to give a lot of these 30, 31, 32-year-old coaches the opportunity. No, man, them cats.
I agree.
They putting them in good positions with opportunities and some dogs. And them dogs are doing it. Them young coaches still ain't doing that.
I certainly agree, man. I certainly agree. Let me come over to the chat right quick, man. Go back to my man David because he said Shotty, meaning Schottenheimer. He said Shotty would be okay if Jerry would let him do his job. His offense be like 2023 Michigan. The college team, I just hope Jerry would give Shotty the players he needs to win. You say what to that though, Derek?
Jerry is not going to let nobody run the team. Jerry's running the team, man. Jerry's getting ready to call the plays. Jerry is getting ready to run the show. Long as he got puppets that he can use, he's going to continue to do it.
Derry, hit your settings for me again. You went off screen for me.
And Jabril also, as long as he keep putting 100,000 people in the seats at AT&T Stadium, he don't care. He cares about sitting up folks and putting booties in the seat.
That's it, man. Well,
you put the booties in the seats.
Well, David, you said it a second ago, man. I mean, if nothing else, we know that Jerry is he's a marketing genius. We can't take that from him. That's as part of how he got his yellow jacket because he did. He was an innovator.
That is how he got his jacket because he helped all the owners get rich.
Absolutely.
Richer.
And I give him his credit, in terms of because to come in and fire a legendary coach like Tom Landry. I mean, y'all remember Dallas was up in an uproar, man. They was up in an uproar. He definitely, certainly exacerbated the situation even more when he hired Jimmy Johnson being a college coach. Mm-hmm. So it took some real kahunas to be able to do that, and then for it to rev you back the championships that it did. So he's what they call a wildcatter. He's a businessman, and you can't take that from him.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like in that old country song they used to say, you got to know when to hold up, and you got to know when to fold them. Now, if it's like if y'all ever seen that movie, y'all stay with me now. If y'all ever seen that movie, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, when Huggy Bear came out of prison, he came out with the fist shoes and the big hat, the sombrero. He thought it was still 1970.
1970.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it can pass you by. And you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Let me come over to the chat right quick. I see you, Arthur. Arthur, man, I know you left me a message. I will get back with you, man. I got a lot of irons in the fire I've been doing, so my fault, man. But let me bring your comments up, man. Welcome to the replay, man. He's saying younger style of coaching could be true. Let me see. There's no more pocket quarterbacks and old style coaching anymore. Cowboys need change younger. Well, you're the offensive guy, Derek. He's saying what we're saying. You know, we look at the young coaches. I mean, excuse me, the young quarterbacks of today. You got the Patrick Mahomes, you got the Lamar Jacksons, you got the Josh Allens, you know, and so forth and so on. They talk about RPO, you know, language, how the offense have evolved. So when you think about the Dallas Cowboys, I guess my question, Derek, to you is, have you seen now? Granted, remember now they averaged 30-some points a game last year at home before they got shackled by the Green Bay Packers. But have you seen any change in terms of how they have evolved? I guess when he talks about you know, this is a young man's game, you know, quarterbacks need to be younger, they got a different style of coaching and so forth and so on. What have you seen based on the Dallas Cowboys? What do your eye test tell you in regards to the Dallas Cowboys?
As far as offense?
As far as offense?
Offensively, I think they got the weapons to be very successful. But it has to be to the point where it's that Dak, sometimes he's scared to run. And there's times that he should run and he don't. And he don't. Because he's afraid that he's going to get hurt. That's his problem. And you can tell, too, when he runs, he don't want to run. And then when he gets sacked or someone gets close to his ankle, man, you ought to see him. His eyes get so big, he like, oh, I'm about to get hurt again. So that's his problem there.
Yo, what do your eye test tell you, David, when you think about the Cowboys? Oh, we'll get to the defense inside. Me and you two defensive guys.
Well, get to offense and defense is the same.
Yeah.
If you notice who he has paid in the past, it's always been the other race. He paid those guys to be on the offensive line. And when a black guy wants some money, he gets rid of them. Now he paid for Dak to have the teams that he had. He went out and got a bunch of great ball players. It was bragging about the Cowboys had the best offensive line and supposedly had the best defensive line. But they didn't have no linebackers though. And everybody and their mama ran on them. Now they got decent linebackers in there.
Well, let me push back just a little bit on that though, because I'm gonna say it like this. It's true in terms of how Jerry tries to linger it out, knowing all along you're gonna wind up paying the guys anyway, right?
Right. That's my
I have in the past definitely questioned how do you allocate the money over here, you know, to this particular player, but then you didn't allocate the money over here where we feel like it should go. I know that's one of those deals when you're dealing with the salary cap. You have to really be, you know, creative with the salary cap, especially the way it is now. Now, again, I do know when Jerry have paid these guys, let's say God rest his soul, Marion Barber. He was marrying the Barber, running over everybody when he was with the Cowboys before he got his money. As soon as Jerry paid him, he was no longer marrying the Barber. He was out of here and went to Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Then you look at boy, if you've been watching this show right here, some of the guys will tell you, man, I was so glad when this guy's. Now, I'm not saying when he was healthy, he was a dog.
Yeah.
But as they say, the best ability is availability. And Smith, our offensive left tackle, he was just alive. I mean, the dude missed more games than he played. Tyron Smith, I'm speaking about.
And got paid.
Huh?
And got paid.
And got paid. And you know, Jerry paid him. You know, and Jerry paid like he just paid. Now look at Diggs now. Trayvon Diggs, he can't stay on the field. And I know injuries. When we all know injuries are the part of the game. I'm not trying to dismiss that at all. We know that injuries are part of the game. But it just seemed like to me, some guys, not all, some guys, a little bit of that fight or hunger or dog seems to kind of dissipate when they get paid. And they just really don't look at Zeke Elliott. Zeke was all on the bench, man. I mean, on the beach, he was doing his thing or whatever. Jerry gave him the money. He was never the same Ezekiel. Now, was that some of that contribute to the offensive line? Yeah, you can say that. But they have spent money. And we've had, you know, with Will McClay at the helms, the Cowboys have had some really great drafts. I mean, guys who went to the Pro Bowl. Some guys got injured, you know, had to retire early, like Frederick, the center. Now you look at Leighton Vander Esch or what have you. So they've put the money, I think, in rebuilding that line at one time, but it just seemed like it never always come together. Because sometimes when you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you got the peanut butter, but they ain't got the jelly. You might have the jelly and you ain't got the peanut butter, or if you ain't. It ain't.
And then you ain't got the bread.
You got the bread, and then it be the ends. You know what I mean?
So and then it's not toasted.
It seems like with the Dallas Cowboys, that's been the sticking point. Nothing seems to fully come together. That's just in my purview, man. But let's change the switch it up a little bit, man, because I do want to talk about these Washington Commanders. I don't know, and we're gonna see come tomorrow, but I don't know if this is gonna be. I'll say this: it will be transcendent for me because your actual head coach probably could have been already on your staff in terms of Dan Quinn, even though I don't like the way he left. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: I've already been on record saying this. I wish that they would not allow these guys to interview. I mean, nobody across the board. Even if your season early, I think everybody should start out the same, because it just seemed like Keyshawn Johnson touched on this very thing that I'm about to say. He touched on it, and I had said this before when we lost last year against the Green Bay Packers, because it seems like your full attention is not on attention to details in the game plan. And you can tell when Love and them came down here, Jordan Love and them came down here, man, the Cowboys didn't have a clue. They hit them with, I mean, if you ever seen a boxer like a Floyd Mayweather, man, counter punching 1-2 to the rib, to the top, they hit Dallas every way they could on defense.
Yeah.
And I just think when these coordinators are getting these job interviews, man, they're not paying full attention to detail. So with the Washington Commanders doing what they've done, and my hats, I'm not gonna sit here and hate on. I mean, this young kid, man, Daniels is playing lights out. I mean, the pause that he's shown, man, and the adversity that he's had to overcome and doing the things that he's doing, man. I hope that he's there for a long time and things don't happen to him or what happened to Robert Griffin. I'm hoping, but his mom, I don't know if y'all seen his mom, but his mom, she ain't having it, man.
No,
you gotta really, she ain't, man.
Protecting him, boy.
But let me ask y'all, in terms of you, I come to you, Derek, in terms of the Washington Commanders right now, man. First of all, do you see them going past Philly? And if so, give me your game plan, man. Tell me what's gonna take place tomorrow.
Well, first thing is that they're gonna play lights out because they have no fear. They have no fear because I know they're the underdog. Aren't they the underdog?
Yeah.
Yeah, certainly.
I know they're the underdog, so where's the fear? They ain't have no fear. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Daniels, he has no fear at all. And they follow him, man. They definitely follow him. He's a leader.
Mm-hmm.
He's a leader, a young leader, and they love him to death. But the thing is, he got so much support system, man. I'm talking about from the owners, from the GM, from Williams, Doug, all of them. He got a great support system, man. And the community and everybody love him, man. So once he has that, he's gonna be successful. I guarantee.
Well, let me ask them over in the comment, man, over in the chat, man. Who y'all think win tomorrow between the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles? And you can also give me a chat out your pick between the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me know. I want to hear from you guys over in the comments in the chat. Who you got tomorrow? Who you like? Who's coming out of the Final Four and wind up in the Super Bowl? I'll go ahead and give you mine. I mean, I'm on the record saying that I got Philly, man, but I'm sure hoping Washington win that thing, man. I really do. First and foremost, let me just say this for the record, that the NFC East have more combined Super Bowls out of any other division. Let's get that understood.
Hey, so I'm going to tell you something about the NFC East. Every team in NFC East has won a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Not one conference, not one division has won a Super Bowl. If all four teams in the NFC has won a Super Bowl.
Right. That's what I'm getting at, D. The NFC East is the beast.
That's the beast.
And when you combine all the Super Bowls, no other conference, no other team in any other conference have won as many Super Bowls combined as the NFC East. So, but it's just something about, I can live with Washington because, again, my dad was a Washington Redskins, not Commanders, fan. And I like the Chocolate City and what they stand for. Philly fans, on the other hand, man, they just don't stop with the hate. They just don't. Wow. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to see Washington pull this out tomorrow. But if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I would say Philly in a very close one. And I just think KC, man, gonna do it. KC is KC. KC gonna do what KC do, man, at the end of the day. And I do think that they gonna wind up winning what third consecutive championship. That's just how I see it. But you say what though, David? Who you got? Who you like, man?
My father told me years ago He said, son, take my word for this. The NBA and the NFL is leading towards the WWF wrestling. You can almost predict who's going to win. Listen, the Redskins, the Commanders, they done clip Philly's wings. Jalen Hurts, I love him to death. You know, I'm roll tide too.
Yeah.
Without somebody telling him exactly what to do, he looks like a fish out of water. And right now, with his ankle being hurt, he's a fish out of water. Saquon ain't gonna be able to do it by himself because they got some linebackers and safety that come down here and they're gonna put some on Saquon. And Saquon still might get his 150, 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Commanders gonna win the game. And Andy, what's his name? Andy Reid. What's the coach's name?
Oh, you mean
with Kansas City?
Oh, Andy Reid.
That's Andy Reid.
Yeah. Okay. He's a second coming of Belichick, bro. You give him an extra week, he gonna beat you. He got a quarterback that ain't got no fear. He out there just having fun, throwing the ball behind his back, shuffle passing to somebody in the front. He creating stuff. And when you got somebody that can create, I mean, and then he takes off running, and everybody's starting to do this. He runs the ball, and he slide. Then he takes off running in crucial situations. Him and Josh Allen both. They run, act like they're gonna run out of bounds and keep going. They run another 15 yards because everybody be running up to him, scared to hit him. That's see 15 more yards?
Did you see the throw he made, falling almost to the ground?
Yeah.
Last week?
Kelsey.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's those type of plays when you have to improvise. The ones that you don't scout for.
Right.
You know, these are the ones that you don't scout for. These are these improvisational type throws that you don't scout for this. You can't make this up, man. You can't. How do you it's like Jordan, man, when he you think he coming this way, he switch it over this way, or he goes around the glass. It's an innately thing, man. It's like a gift that God has bestowed on certain athletes. Where, like in the moment, like when look at him, when Saquon went up in the air, bro.
You talking about backwards?
Yeah, when he jumped backwards.
He was having fun. He was having fun.
Say, man.
He was having fun.
Man. I mean, God
he been having fun the whole year because he was in New York and it was a losing situation. He go where they got a decent line.
And
he just he's showing you, hey, give me somebody to run behind, and I'll run behind them.
Oh yeah.
And you know
it, man.
And talking about the New York Giants and their quarterback situation. Now, isn't that just? I mean, like you give the money to Daniel Jones, and he ain't even with the team anymore, and he's your first round pick. But you let Saquon Barkley get away, and he's showing y'all who y'all should have kept.
Right,
man. I love it, bro.
And Jabril, he wanted to stay. He wanted to stay in New York.
He wanted to stay.
He wanted to stay in New York.
He wanted to stay in New York, man. And those are the kind of things, man, when you look across the league, you look across these teams, man, and certain, players, man, that are showing you that they are worthy, and you wind up allocating that money to someone else, man, that's not worthy, it comes back to bite you, man. So again, like I said, the Washington Commanders, I do believe, and David, man, you hit the nail on the head. There's no way. I'm gonna tell you something. If I lose, I'm going down my way.
Swing it.
Saquon Barkley won't beat me. Jalen Hurts, you got to beat me with your arm.
Yep.
You're gonna have to beat me with your arm. I'm not letting it happen. I'm gonna find out if I got anybody on my defense, them boys, and that's on the back end of that defense. I'm gonna find out, man. Do I need you next year? Because remember, this is Dan Quinn first year. Man, you got everything to gain. Really nothing to lose, because who expect y'all to even be in this position? So
exactly.
Not
you see what I'm saying? You're playing with house money.
Yeah,
you playing with house money. So I'm gonna press.
And you got two dogs, in this fight.
Yeah,
man. You listen, man. My scheme is gonna be. I'm gonna simplify. I'm gonna press up, man, and I'm gonna make Jalen Hurts beat me with his arm, and I'm gonna spy him with one of my backers. I'm telling you, man. Now I might switch it up. Don't get me wrong, here and there, give him a look, man, press, man, and I might sit in my corner on a blitz, safety roll over to the top or whatever. I may do a little thing to mix him up, but I promise you, man, I am not gonna let Saquon Barkley. He won't be the narrative. Yeah, he's not gonna be the footnote in this game, brother. No. I think it would be asinine to go into this game knowing you got a 2,000-yard back and he's not the focal point. And don't get me wrong, there are many, defensive coordinators, of course, when they come into a game, the first thing they always say, we got to stop the run first. I mean, we understand that. Some better than others. But in this game right here, I'm like with David, man, that has to be the narrative. It don't start with what's my receiver? Brown. It don't start with Brown. It don't start with Smith. It starts with Saquon Barkley. Yep. That's it. Man. That's it. And I do think if they do that, they certainly give themselves an opportunity, man, to pull this game out because they got some firepower, man. Let me go over here and check the comments right quick, man, because I don't know if anybody. Okay. I got somebody, my man David. He said KC in three in a row. It's coming. I can't.
And that's back to what my dad said. They trying to get rid of Tom Brady and his legacy.
Yeah.
If this boy win 3 in a row, and 4 in 5 years,
that's a new face.
He's been to the championship every year. Tom Brady didn't go to the championship every year. He won most Super Bowls and everything, but it was a couple of years he got beat in the semifinals or something. But that boy done made to the AFC Championship game. What, 8 years in a row now?
I think it's 7 or 8.
Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
But again, to win 3 in 4 years, now you finna win 4 in 5 years and 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody ever did that. Tom Brady couldn't do that.
Well, let me ask this question. Let me ask you, Al, this question right here because I like this question about Arthur, man. He said that the Washington Commanders will win tomorrow, but rookie, he won't in the Super Bowl. Basically, I think that's what you're saying, Arthur. Won't in the Super Bowl because the NFL is rigged. Las Vegas runs the show. So let's go with that. Let's go with that. If Washington was to get by Philadelphia, and believe me, that's not a far-fetched thing. But if they was to get by Philadelphia and they match up with the Kansas City Chiefs, according to what Arthur is saying in terms of it being in Vegas, do y'all think Vegas, I mean, those high rollers down there, man, will come into play? Or do you think that, and to me personally, I think that's a game that Washington can actually, man, they could be the Cinderella story of the year. But do you think Vegas come into play, Derek, if they were to get past Philly, man, and play the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I think if they play the Kansas City Chiefs, if that's the case, then let me have Washington in 7.
Right.
Let me have Washington in 7. Since we're gonna bet on Vegas, hey,
but I'll say this to Arthur. To your point, Arthur, I think if Washington meet Buffalo, I think it's gonna come. It's because I think they're gonna want Josh Allen to win it, man. And the thing, and see, this is what I'm talking about. They say the lights went out when San Francisco played Baltimore, right? They say there was some stuff going on. If you one of those conspiracy theorists or whatever the case may be. But here's the thing: just like the Detroit Lions, I was, because when I think about the city and the people, we at least I can say the champagne have been popped in the city of Dallas 5 times, and we've played for 8. But there are some franchises fans ain't never tasted the champagne, right? So when I was thinking about Detroit and the bankruptcy situation that they had with the city, and then Buffalo, going there, I know 4 times doing
4
Jim
times, 4 or 5 times, 4 times.
You know what I'm saying? They lost 4 in a row.
Lost 4 in a row, right? They lost 4 in a row. Yeah, Dallas got them twice. I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, the fans in Buffalo, they say that's one of the most loudest stadiums you can ever play in. They love their Bills in Buffalo, which is one of the reasons why I said I was telling people, I said, say, man, I don't know why they just think the Ravens gonna go up there. I didn't see it like that. I'm like, no, they got to go to Buffalo. When I found out they had to go on the road, I'm thinking really they was gonna play at home. But when they said they had to go on the road, I said, wait a minute, what are y'all talking about, man? The Ravens is favored to win this game against Buffalo. Have y'all seen Buffalo play in Buffalo? So it wasn't no surprise to me when they did defeat the Ravens. But if the Buffalo Bills were to make it to the Super Bowl and it's Washington, man, I hope that the games, that the refs or whatever they what have going on with all the conspiracy theories, because I think they would try to favor that game in Josh Allen favor, because they may look at it from the standpoint Buffalo been there, never won. Josh Allen been trying to get through Patrick Mahomes and couldn't get through him and finally have. Right. And here you got a rookie out of nowhere, and we supposed to just do what with that? You know what I mean?
Now that's a Vegas move there. Now that's a Vegas move there.
That's a Vegas move, Derek.
Now, that's absolutely. A Vegas move.
That is a
Vegas move. I mean,
I have one for y'all. Have y'all seen Facebook lately where some guy is showing that the league is rigged because they kicked off to Kansas City.
Right.
Kansas City got the ball at the 30. First down at the 42. Patrick Mahomes scrambled and got 2 yards. They put up the NFL logo and came back. It was 1st and 10 again. What should have been 2nd and 8. It was 1st and 10 all over again. And you can look at the yardage on where the ball was at.
Right.
Well, now the second thing I want to throw at y'all, who is at fault more in the Ravens losing that game, not tying it up? Was that the tight end, or was that Lamar Jackson's fault?
Are you talking about Mark Andrews? Yeah. Hey man, I'm putting that on Mark Andrews.
That seemed like I think that's shaving points, man, because he known he was catching there. All of a sudden, something that's real to the point of where it's going to tie the ball game up, and all you got to do is catch the ball.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm 6'5", and you gonna throw the damn ball at my damn ankles, Lamar, and I'm wide open in the end zone.
But you know what? We say what? But wait a minute, though. He
should have caught the ball. Yes.
No, I'm gonna tell
you.
If
I'm falling down, if I'm going down and trying to catch the ball, and I'm falling down, that's a hard catch,
David.
When the quarterback should have threw the ball.
No, David, I'm a receiver. If the ball is coming at me, and I know it's that important for me to catch that, and I can tie the ball game up, and then we're going to overtime, I don't give a damn. I'm looking the ball all the way in, everything.
I gotta agree. Because what do we say, Derry? What do we say, Dave? We say big time players
make big
time
plays and big
games. And he fumbled the ball in the middle of the field.
Right.
Now that's what I put the game on right there. If he don't fumble,
that was redemption. Yes. If we caught that, and you dropped it, and Lamar looked at him like, really? Hey man,
you know what though, man? But see, that goes to show everyone that why they call football is the greatest team sport. I want to underline the word team. Because individually, a dude can get hot in basketball and just take over. Like Jordan, get out the way, man.
Yeah,
get out the way. You can go one-on-one in track and field. You can be Tiger Woods and just go. In football, you got to have all 11 individuals pulling and doing their job, right? Which makes it the greatest team sport.
Do your
job.
Because,
man, one person can't do it by himself, and they keep putting it on Lamar Jackson. Now, don't get me wrong. He's not off the hook from the mistakes that he made earlier, but he did redeem himself. The issue that I had was them trying to come down so hard on Lamar. But did y'all see Jared Goff go out there and throw them for him like he didn't know what was going on? Like he didn't realize or understand that he was in a playoff game. You know what I mean?
The real Jared Goff showed up.
Oh yeah.
Let me correct.
The Bronx showed up.
Let me correct you on what you said about football is the greatest team sport.
Right.
We have Derek Zeno, who is one of the greatest track men in the country, in my words. Okay. There's only one true sport, and that's track and field. Everything else is a game. Football is a game, basketball is a game, baseball is a game. Track is the only true sport.
Well, listen, but David, listen to this though. That may be true until you get to the 4x100 relay.
But it's still a sport though. Everything else is a game.
I don't know. I don't want to transition over track because I just don't understand.
I know.
Why we can't
I was just correcting you. I was just correcting you because my track coach on the film right now on the TV with us right now.
Hey, all I know is this. Hey, them days is over.
Yeah, I just don't understand why come we can't get that doggone stick right, man. I just don't understand. That's another story.
Hey, man,
Another
it's
story for
focus.
another day.
It's all about focus, man. It's focus. Y'all
Yeah.
got to do is focus.
Well, but like I said though, again, if those two teams, and I like that question, Arthur, I appreciate that question, but I think it would come more into play if Buffalo and Washington was to make it. That's just my personal take on it, because I'm looking at Josh Allen, I'm looking at Jaden Daniels, and again, at the end of the day, if his wheel is just, I don't care what y'all do. You don't have to call a late hit. You don't have to call a holding. You don't have to call a pass interference. If Jaden Daniels will his team to victory in the Super Bowl, I think it would be the greatest. And I don't know. I know it's been a lot of great wins, but in terms of what this kid did and where he come from, and the coach that did it, because it's redemption for Dan Quinn too, because he lost when he's with the Atlanta Falcons. But man, it would make Dak Prescott and Jerry Jones look like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If they win this thing, man.
And Jabril, this is their first year doing this. Their first year.
First year. Even if you talk about, let's say if they were to lose to Philly,
it's the culture.
NFC Championship game, your first year, man.
First year.
Yep.
Because I was in a conversation, like I said, with a couple of buddies, man, and we kept talking about this. Was back when Dak was trying to get his money the first time around, when Russell Wilson was still one of those top 10 quarterbacks with the Seahawks, and they kept saying, well, because he wanted Russell Wilson money. I said, say, man, but what have he done? Look, man, we gave Troy Aikman $10 million, got 3 Super Bowls. I understand the market change. I'm not mad at nobody getting their money. That's not what I'm saying. But man, at some point, you got to be a producer. I can't see giving nobody $60 million.
$60 million, and you can't pass and you can't even get past the NFC Championship game, barely.
Come on, man.
You can't get past the first round. You can't get past the first round.
Have they been to the NFC Championship? No.
Have they ever won past the first round?
No, they have. But I'm talking about, have they ever been to an NFC Championship once?
Yeah, because they beat Tampa Bay. They beat Tampa Bay.
Right.
And
they lost to Green Bay.
They won the year didn't count because they
lost to Green Bay, right?
They lost to New York Giants when he was a rookie, so because they had to buy the first week, so that don't count. But because the Giants came in and knocked them out. Yeah. So they was supposed to go to the NFC Championship game had they beat the Giants, but the Giants beat them and went on and won the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. They've never been to an NFC Championship game at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And then you're gonna give this man $60 million?
$60 million. And I'm gonna tell you, I was look here, man. I can't tell a billionaire what to do with this money, but I know me personally, I kept saying I would have just waited it out. I would have waited.
Give me 44 million. He was gonna make 44 million anyway.
Right.
I would have gave him that 44 million. Said, I'll take care of you at the end of the season.
Hey,
I would have, again, I mean, because you're talking 60 million, and I'm looking at your overall track record, and for us to finish, what was it, 7-10? I'm sitting there saying I could have got the same results for less money.
For less money.
For less money. Mm-hmm. If I'm gonna have the same results, I'd rather go ahead and go back into the draft, man. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you do make a trade and bring another quarterback in. Well, you may say, well, who do you bring? Well, I don't know what the Steelers want to do with Russell Wilson or Fields, Justin Fields. But hey, I mean, I'm just simply saying if it's gonna bring me the same results, man, and that's insanity if you continue to do something over and over again, right? Expecting different result, and it's the same thing. Come on, man. You expecting different results, you get the same thing.
And I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something, David and Jabril. I'm gonna tell you something. God don't like ugly either.
Amen.
He don't. In that organization, God do not like ugly.
Yep.
In that organization.
And that's why I think when he did Jimmy like that, they ain't did much of nothing. But they won the Super Bowl the year after with Barry Switzer, but that was Jimmy Johnson's team.
He was a token.
Yeah, I'm saying that was still Jimmy Johnson's team. They could have won without a coach on the field at all.
That was still Jimmy's
I'm saying they could have won. They would have won the Super Bowl without Jimmy being on anybody being on the sideline.
Right. And he get mad because he talking about, well, I can get anybody to coach this damn team. I'm like, okay. Jimmy said, okay, well, I guess you can then. And then from there, I'll just do like this. Oh, that's where I'm going.
Look,
well, you know something though. Wait a minute though. Before y'all start, see again. I'm trying my best. Hold on, let me reset. Let me reset. Look, David got it. Let me reset, man.
Give me some chicken tenders or something.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. But let me reset right quick, man, because let me make sure I see people chatting out in the comment, man. So big shout out again. But let me reset something because they always picking on the Dallas Cowboys. But last time I checked, the Washington doggone Commanders or / Redskins hadn't been there either since 1991. Now they there now,
exactly,
and that's all that matters. They gave themselves an opportunity. But again, it's been a drought for a long time for both organizations. And when you start talking about prestigious type organization, it's been way too long. And if they don't finish the deal, if they don't close the deal, they don't remember those who finished second. You can say you got there, but that's just like saying, man, I went out with this fine lady, man, and all she did was just tease me all day. So if the results are still the same results, then it's like, hey, man, y'all got to get to the back of the bus. Everybody's still in the same category. I wouldn't want to. If 30 years, if it means nearly 30 years of not going, and we just get there to lose it, then I don't want to go.
Right.
I want to get there and win it. I want to make sure I don't want to go on a fluke. And not saying Washington is going on a fluke. I'm not saying that at all. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't want them to backdoor into a Super Bowl the way the Green Bay Packers did when they went and backdoor and beat the Steelers out in AT&T.
Yeah.
Because if anybody remember that year, they needed somebody to win to get in the playoff. They went on a hot streak. You know what I'm saying? I think it started in November. And they backed into the Super Bowl and kept that hot streak going, and they went on and won a Super Bowl.
Right.
But I want to know that we got a solid team the way they did with Leon Lett and the boys. You understand? Big eating them on that line. Nate Newton.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know when we get there, man. We finna bring
the noise.
Bring the pain.
Now listen to this.
I hope it goes. Absolutely.
Jerry made a good point. God don't like ugly. Look, God don't like ugly.
Right.
I went to the alumni game this past year, and with the new ownership coming in, how do you get a Hall of Fame jacket before you get your number retired? And you done played more games than any defensive player in the history of the game, and you done played more games than anybody in a Redskin uniform. They just retired Dale Green's number. This man made it to the Hall of Fame. So again, they get rid of all of that, and the new owners start making right by some stuff. They got the buzz in there talking about taking the team back to the Redskins.
Yep.
I think they're gonna do it, man.
Yeah, they are.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not gonna be one of those individuals, man, that's gonna hate it and not root for them. I'm rooting for, like I say, man, the young kid, Jaden Daniels, man, and McLaurin them, man, and you know. Even what, like I say, I'm still not all the way there on Dan Quinn just because I know he didn't put no game plan together. He just left the Cowboys out to dry. But I think he is a player's coach. I think he is a player, and that's why he got those boys playing how they playing.
Because he's the same way like that in Atlanta and Seattle.
Yeah, and I'll say this also, man. Anytime you get this close, man, I think it's important. You got to seize the moment because we know when Dan Marino came in as a rookie, he never went back. He got to the Super Bowl and never went back in his entire career
at all.
You can assume you're gonna get back, but man, it's tough trying to get back. So again, I would like to see Washington really go in and win it all. Now, will they win it all? That's yet to be seen. Can they win it all? I believe that they can. They just got to seize the moment.
Yeah, I would like for them to see. I would like for them, if they do go, I would like for them to play Buffalo. Play Buffalo.
I'm all. Hey, they play Buffalo. I'm all in. I'm all in
to play Buffalo.
And if they play Buffalo, they're gonna give the MVP award to Josh Allen and not Lamar Jackson.
You talking about?
You mean Daniels?
Jaden Daniels. Yeah.
No, I'm saying if
you talking about the MVP award?
He's rookie of the year.
Oh, okay.
For the league. Because Josh Allen ain't even third right now.
Right.
Lamar Jackson number 1, Burrows is number 2, and Patrick Mahomes is number 3.
Really?
But they want Josh Allen to win so bad. That's why I said it might end up like WWF wrestling. You can damn near predict with all the storylines out there. Josh Allen willing the team on his back and all of this, and he led the team in rushing. He didn't even throw for 200 yards and rushed. He almost rushed for more yards than he threw for them to win the game.
Yeah,
like I said, I wouldn't bet on the game myself.
What you think, Derek? I mean, do you think that the MVP award, I guess, is a foregone conclusion that Lamar Jackson will win it? Do you think, in terms of what David is saying, if he were to win a Super Bowl, will they turn it around, pivot, and give it to Josh Allen?
Well, it depends on if he do go to the Super Bowl. We talking about Josh Allen. If he do make it, then they will try to maneuver about it. But other than that, right now, who is the leading candidate right now for the MVP? Is it
Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson. Okay.
Lamar Jackson.
Right. Well, if Mahomes end up and Washington end up going to the Super Bowl or either or whatever, they're going to give the MVP to who? Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar.
Right.
Yeah, they'll give it to Lamar. But if Patrick end up going, which I know now he's fourth in the running right now, right?
Actually, he's third.
Third or fourth?
Patrick Mahomes is third. He's third.
No, I thought it was
Josh
Burrow
Allen
was third. I thought Burrow was third.
Burrow is second. Burrow is second.
So who's
for
third?
The numbers?
Who's third?
Patrick Mahomes, and then Josh Allen is fourth.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they keep putting Josh Allen's name up there in the debate, though.
Well, if Josh Allen beat the Chiefs, then I guarantee you he's gonna be MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If he beat the Chiefs, he's gonna be MVP.
Yep.
So again, let me say this real quick for those of y'all who are still coming on, just coming on to this particular platform, man. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys and the hire of Brian Schottenheimer. This is the replay, and I got my two guests joining me, man. Special guest, my man Derek Zeno, as well as David Windham. And like I said, they played in the league, man, with the Washington Redskins, as they was called back then. So I thought I'd bring these two guys on, man, who's very knowledgeable about football as well. And we're talking about this crazy hire, man. This crazy hire. We delved in it. I've seen some of the comments on social media, people putting up the memes, and you have every right to do so. I mean, I've read a lot of comments by a lot of Dallas Cowboys Nation, should I say, and there's a lot of pissed off people. But again, guys, you got to understand something. If you continue to support Jerry Jones and his billionaire arrogant ways, you go to the games, you spend your hard-earned money, you buy all the merchandise, you scream out America's team, they got you indoctrinated, this and that. Well, if you're expecting to get a different result, it's not going to happen. The man have just showed you, and believe me, I've been on record trying to push this narrative back. But there comes a time in every person's life when you at the crossroads. So I just had to go. I'm a free agent, man. I'm a free agent until now. If for whatever reason Brian Schottenheimer shocked the heck out of me, then I'll take those things under consideration. But right now, from what I'm looking at, this is a pure slap in Cowboys Nation's face, because again, you had 5 qualified African-American head coaches. And I'm really just about who can do the job. But one thing I know for sure, I've seen what the other ethnic groups can do. I've seen that. But we've never seen an African-American head coach with the Dallas Cowboys. We've never seen an African-American offensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys. And we really never seen a defensive coordinator with the Dallas Cowboys. So herein lies the problem. That's why I got my guys on here, because I know my man Derek is going to give it to me straight without no filter. He jumped ship, however you want to call it. The Titanic was going down prior to 1996 after the last Super Bowl, and you got to be a dang on fool. See, Derek said, I'm not going to be the instrument guys playing the song until the ship go down. I want that damn tugboat. So I can get that tugboat. Right, D?
And also, Jabril, since you're a free agent, we'll sign you. Come on over.
I say, if anything, man, as a little boy at Black and Gold, baby, that Black and Gold.
We'll sign you. Come on over.
I mean, cause if they would have made the switch, man, and just sent, like I said, Mike McCarthy over to the Pittsburgh Steelers and brought Mike Tomlin over here, oh man, that would have made my year, man. That'd have made my year.
I would either open an eye and say, you know what, he's trying to change. That's what I was saying about Jerry. Oh man, he's trying to change.
Yeah.
Really. If he would have brought Dion, I guarantee you, I would have been a supporter.
Oh,
Because I know what Dion would bring. I know what Dion would bring to the team. But he can't deal with Jerry. He already know that. He knows he can't deal with Jerry. Because Jerry do not like the spotlight to be on Dion. He wants the spotlight to be on him at all times. Not sometimes, all the time.
David, I see you smiling wide, man. I knew you. you saying the same thing. I can see. You saying
if they had brought Dion in there, Jerry got enough money. He don't give a damn about the money. He would have got rid of Dak Prescott, and whatever two teams had the number 1 and number 2 pick, he would have brought his son in and Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
That would have shook up the league to bring Dion in there.
I'd have been like, all right, I could come back home.
Listen, and Dion would have sold them Cowboys shirts that said, I believe.
Right, because I know what Dion's going to bring. I know he's going to bring. He's going to bring stardom. He's going to bring winning. He's going to bring an attitude to the point of where it's at almost like Jimmy. Because he's just like Jimmy. All right?
Yep.
He is. And I'm there.
Yeah. Well, he foreclosed. You know what? I guess maybe he thought about that too. Maybe Derrick, somehow your name came across his desk and he knew that. He said, "No, I don't need Derrick back. Derrick left us too long. We're gonna keep him working."
That's okay.
I don't know how true that is, man. But hey. Something had to happen. I would like to think though, had he work things out with Dion. When I say work things out, I'm talking about a contract, and because it wasn't a situation where Jerry was interviewing Dion. I think that Dion would have been interviewing Jerry, making sure that it's a right fit for me because I know the way that I am. Right. Jerry Jones is what, 82? I think it's 82 years. 82 at that, and so I'm saying, Jerry, you got more years behind you than you have in front of you. You the one that said that I'm all in. You the one that say, man, if you can win another Super Bowl, you'll do whatever, right?
You're not all in.
But action speaks louder than words, and we don't see it. You don't even sign Derrick Henry because you felt like that he didn't have nothing left on the tires. Man. When he said he wanted to, play for the Cowboys because he lived out here in Dallas. Yep. I can't keep allowing this roller coaster to take me on a certain ride that I didn't sign up for. And being former ball players, man, we know we've been in them locker rooms. We know when someone is positioning us to really win versus they're watching their bottom line or whatever billionaires do with their egos. We know this, man. So you want somebody to come in, and even with that, you don't even have the head coach to be able to say, you know what? I'm going to take something out of nothing and still make a dinner out of it. Even if it's straps. You don't have no head coach, man, that got nowhere on his track record showing you that he's been this type of a coach where he can take a little bit. Kind of like when we saw Bill Belichick do at one time when Tom Brady was out for the season.
Right.
Time and time again, you see Andy Reid. You lose somebody like Cheetah. He goes to Miami. You go on and win a Super Bowl. Taking something from nothing and still fitting the team, handling your business. We mentioned Mike Tomlin a second ago earlier. You know what I'm saying? Taking something for nothing. You got a Kenny Pickett at quarterback. You got I can't think Mason. I think that was Mason Rudolph, whatever his name is, at quarterback. So I'm saying you don't see I haven't seen no coach take something less and go out there, man, and still win a freaking ball game. Kind of like with Dak Prescott. Can you show me, bro, if CeeDee Lamb if he's a scratch for this game, he's not playing in this game. Can you show me that you can take a team, put them on your back, and say, "Let's go"? Yeah. Like Roger the Dodger used to do, Roger Staubach used to do, like Charlie Aikman would do.
Yeah.
Can you do that? And you want me to pay you $60 million? Nah, not me, man. I can't break the bank open like that. No, I can't, bro. I just can't do it, man. So again, we're back at square one, talking about the same thing, and it looks like it's gonna be another 30 years. And I don't know if. And I have no knowledge of this at all. I wish we was privy to the conversation that him and Jerry had, meaning Deion Sanders, because I don't know if Deion is just saying, not now. I got kids coming in, these Julian Lewis, Juju Nim, and these other, Salters and these young kids. And it was really hard for me because if a coach, come on, man, let's be honest. Ain't no kid going down to Colorado playing the cold and the snow. They're going down there specifically to play for Deion Sanders.
For him.
Bottom line. So I was kind of like, man, if he left those kids, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, he's just turning the program
and that's
around.
why he wasn't gonna do it. That's why he wouldn't. I don't think he wasn't gonna do it anyway. So because he knows what's in stake, and even though he know that his kids are leaving and left, but I think he felt obligated to that community, to that college, to those players. He's committed to them.
Because he had a chance. Florida State was trying to get him, and that's his alma mater, and that's back home. He told them straight up, no.
No. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right though, David.
And Florida State got way more money than Colorado.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: Colorado is taking care of him.
Yes.
He is well taken care of. So he's like, oh, I'm good.
Yep. But I think if and I don't know, I have no window or any information that's telling me this. I'm just thinking like maybe he decided, well, you know what? Because Deion to me is kind of like Jimmy. Well, you know, Jimmy always talked about how he never really stayed in one spot for more than 5 years. If y'all noticed that. And Deion is kind of like that as a player. He moved around. You know, he played with several different teams.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of thinking that I think if he was kind of, you know, foresight in this thing or had some type of clairvoyancy, man, to look at, you know, look beyond. Maybe he was sitting there saying, okay, I got a son that's coming into the league in 4 years. They got to make up a mind. Well, even though we know they can franchise tag him or whatever, say if Tennessee were to draft him or whatever, maybe he's looking down the road somewhere to saying, okay, if I came in at this time, the right time, maybe there's a push to where I can actually go get my son if he's not doing as well as we hope, you know, for him to be doing. I don't know if that was on his plate to look down the road and say, just not right now, maybe 3-4 years from now. But whatever comes about, I do hope to. I feel like Deion will be at the next level. But he did say he wanted to coach both his sons.
Right.
And if there was a way that he could have did it this year, if the Cowboys, let's just say if the Cowboys would have been in the top 5, Jerry could have moved up without having to, you know, give up the whole team to get that first pick. I think he could have.
He did it with Herschel Walker.
Right. But tell me this though: what head coaching openings are open right now? Is the Saints? Who else? The Jaguars?
Saints, Jaguars.
Carolina open?
No.
Saints, Jaguars. Who else is I think all the coaching positions been filled after the Saints and Jaguars. It may be one other team. It's not coming to mind who's out there now, because the top coaches that they was talking about pretty much have been taken. Ben Johnson gone.
Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn.
Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll went to the Raiders. Of course.
That's what I'm saying. So now it's still 2 openings. So the Saints is open.
Anybody know the other 2 teams that's still available? Got vacant head coaching jobs.
I know those 2. I don't know the other.
I can't think of
those 2 are.
David is saying the Saints that's it.
It's just the Saints. Who's the Jaguars now? Who took the Jaguars job?
I thought the Jaguars were still available. I don't know. I got probably we can look that up to see who got that Jaguars job.
I know David Everett said it was the Saints. He said that's all.
Okay, well, I don't even know who. Let me see.
Yeah, I know the Bears got Johnson.
The Bears definitely got Ben Johnson, which I think was definitely. You listen, Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears, I think was an excellent hire, guys. Especially what he's been able to do, because it's not like you know, as far as the role that he played in that playoff game against Washington, that he wasn't making the right calls. It's just that Jared Goff,
they didn't execute.
They didn't execute, and that's a part of it. But that young talent that he has over in Chicago, oh man, because listen. I hate to see a young talent like a Odunze coming out of Washington, the receiver, because that boy was a beast, man.
He was a dog,
He was a look at him, man. And when you see a tight end like Bowers go up to the Raiders and get over 1,000 yards, you know, in yards and receptions and all this other stuff, and you saw this kid how he performed at Washington, you mean tell me y'all can't get him the ball and you got the #1 quarterback in Caleb Williams?
Yeah,
that's a coaching issue.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's a coaching issue. So that was a great hire, man. I think for the Chicago Bears, especially in that division.
And they're in that division. That's the black and blue division.
Yeah, sure is. It sure is. So big shout out to the, you know, I can say the Chicago Bears for pulling that move. And then I think if the Saints, I don't know, they're saying Mike McCarthy was I guess he was a strong candidate for the Saints, but who knows? Because
that
it's
would
not
be
like,
that would be a good move for Dion, especially trying to get his son in, you know. So,
but I don't think,
Mhm.
but I don't think he's gonna take that Saints
You-
position. Cause like he said out of his own mouth, he said my kickstand is down in Colorado. It would have had to have been something that was so like something he couldn't pass up. Like
couldn't pass
Dallas
up.
would have been
Like
perfect.
Dallas.
Dallas would have been perfect in this sense. I'm saying in terms of only in this sense right here. We know about the what if with Jerry Jones, but I'm saying in terms of how far you would have to drive because it's home. Every chance he get, he's going back to Prosper to go fishing on his own ranch and all that. You know what I mean? So the proximity, he's familiar with the area. His kids grew up in the area. They from the area. And then the celebratory things that comes with being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all know it. I know Prime like that. It ain't nothing changed about that. I don't care how much prayer he throws out.
Yeah.
He still like the limelight.
He likes the show. He likes the show.
Yeah. And imagine this. If he could get the accolade, it's like the Supreme Court. When you file a motion with the Supreme Court and they accept your motion, because they only listen to 1% of all writ of certiorari, right? But they love to set precedents. So imagine if Deion Sanders came to the Dallas Cowboys and he took him to the Super Bowl and he won with all of the celebrity stuff that comes with that. Man, are you kidding me? You talking about ego tripping?
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't say, man, you couldn't. So I guess that probably would have been too much, man. I guess it would have been too much. It would have
been too much for Jerry too, because there's too much spotlight on Deion.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, look here, man. We coming up on the last, let me see, the last 7 minutes of the show, man. We talked about the picks. We talked about. I mean, David, did you get your pick? Did you say the Eagles over the who do you say, man?
No, I said the Redskins, Commanders.
I'm just checking, man.
Commanders. I said the Commanders clipped the Eagles' wings.
The Commanders clipped their wings. What do you have them winning it all? I guess that's the next question.
No, I have Kansas City winning it all because that damn coach and that quarterback.
But Derek, I think you got them winning it all, don't you?
I want them to win, but Vegas,
I want them to win too.
But Vegas, I'll say give me Washington in 7.
Give you Washington. I got a joke for you, Jabril.
In Vegas.
if Jake from State Farm show up, goddamn Kansas City gonna win.
well, if I'm gonna tell you, if that happened, that might go to what Arthur was talking about earlier, man. Is Vegas gonna come into play because State Farm? I don't know, man. They canceling insurance right now out there in California, man. And our prayers out there people out in California, man.
Oh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, man. You pay all this money, man. All these years, and when you finally need a helping hand, they just want to counsel you, boy. Ain't that something, man?
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I certainly
that's some folks again, Jabril. We talking about them folks. That's them folks again.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man. And it's so sad to see. But again, I think, man, like I say, this hire with Brian Schottenheimer. Y'all go ahead, man. Y'all go ahead and rub it in, man. I mean,
oh my God.
Like I say, man, I can't let somebody keep you pissing on top of my head and then it's rain. I just can't be that one, man, that's gonna continue to ride this horse, man, and it's going down the wrong way. I just can't do it. I played the game, my love for the game. I still work with these young people, work with these kids, man. And, I'm always going to try to give it say a word directly to the right. I got to call it like I see it.
Right.
And you would have to be really blinded, huh?
Hey, I'm serious.
In the words of the great Bernie Mac, you were pissed off to the highest level of pisstivity.
The
highest level of pisstivity.
Oh my God! You should have just kept. You could just kept McCartney. If that's the case,
that's the case, really, absolutely, 1,000%, man.
That would have been a no-brainer. Oh, okay, let me go ahead and sign it.
1,000%, man.
Yeah,
and so I can't deviate from the essence of the game itself and how the game is played and the hard work that that these guys put in. And we know that, man. It don't start during the season. It starts in the off season. So for you to tell me I got to do X, Y, Z, and you don't even give me a chance by basically on, the coach that you hired. So imagine what the Michael Parsons are saying.
Wow,
imagine
man.
what the Trayvon Diggs are saying. Imagine what the CD Lambs are saying. I don't know how. I know they on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know how close maybe they have gotten. It couldn't have been that close. It ain't like Brian Schottenheimer been there the last 10 years. But I'm just simply saying, man, imagine how those guys feel with a hire like that. You know what I'm saying?
Where was Schottenheimer last year? Or this season?
Dallas.
He was with the Dallas Cowboys.
He was in Dallas.
That shows how much I watched the Cowboys.
That's what I'm saying. He was in. I'm gonna tell you something about Michael Parsons. He may be going to the Commanders next year. Watch.
Yeah, because he sure kept quiet.
Watch.
Well, no, I mean, because you heard that, and he is a DQ guy. He likes Dan Quinn, and if they can make that happen, if they can
it's gonna be for a boatload of picks, but he's gonna be like, I'm fine, I'm good, I'm gone now. I'm at home. Come on home over there. Come on home, son.
I tell you what. I know Jerry, one thing about a billionaire man is that he likes his money. So it's one of those deals where if he's still looking at his bottom line, because depending on what happens this season, I mean, the 2025 season, NFL season, and how it starts off, because the Cowboys fans did this before. Cowboy Nation did this before. If y'all recall, I think it's when they hired Dave Campo. They stopped showing up at the games.
Yeah.
And he wound up firing Dave Campo and brought on Bill Parcells. Yeah, so I'm saying it's not like the Cowboy Nation sitting back saying, okay, you know what? Because we've been giving Jerry the benefit of the doubt. But you got some diehard, even worse than I am, and y'all know that. Fans that, when they've had enough, it's going to start hitting him in the pocket. And that's the only thing that makes sense to people that got money. And when you start affecting the bottom line. And I think now is the time for Cowboys Nation to stand up and say, not anymore. Last year they talked about doing training camp, how that was the fiercest people to show up.
Right.
So you would think that would have, been, I guess, would have been a factor in his decision making. But obviously he don't get it. Maybe he is senile. Maybe he's
senile now.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think he got dementia.
Oh, absolutely, Derek. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I'm hoping that I don't know, because if it's an in season hire, this is gonna really look crazy if he have to fire this man in the season.
Hey, let him lose 3 games in a row.
Well, I tell y'all what, I'm gonna give y'all just a little bit of this, man.
I can't hear it.
I can't even. Oh, don't let your mama grow up the boys
Your
be
babies
Cowboys.
grow. Yeah. Hey, Derek, now watch this now. Hey, Jabril, are you old? Jabril, are you old enough to have a child 22 years old?
Yeah.
23 years old? Is Michael Parsons your son?
Is who?
Michael Parsons.
Is he my son?
Yeah, because you sure look like him.
Yeah, no. I wasn't trying to say nothing. You better check your records.
Yeah, but my oldest son, he's 29. My youngest one is 18. So man.
Michael Parsons, your long lost son.
I've never been told that. Maybe because I need a haircut or something. I don't know, man.
No, you do.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping
you're on the phone looking like him right now.
Yeah.
No, man, but again, man, it's been one of those things, man, that I had to kind of come on here, man. I'm so glad you brothers, man, came on when we talked about this, man. We talked about the hiring of Brian Schottenheimer, talked about the Rooney rule, or does it make us Rooney fools? All the Cowboys candidates or qualified candidates who was African American, who I felt like had the qualities to lead this team. Jerry once again fooled us wrong. I think the picture that I was sitting there saying, well, he's just like he was a curious guy. But you told everybody to take a knee for the flag and all that, and those who didn't, you want to make the rule as if they weren't going to be on the team and blah, blah, blah. You showed, a tiger never changes stripes. And if you know, he's one of those individuals. I get it now that if you're not doing it his way or whatever the case may be, you can't be on the Dallas Cowboys, because he really believed that logo personifies or supersedes any and everything that you may have on your mind. And a lot of times now it's about having that relationship with the individual players, which I believe that he was jealous of with Jimmy, because Jimmy had a lot of them boys
because he did
coming out of the college ranks. You know what I'm saying? They had a different relationship.
Absolutely.
But this right here, man, was the ultimate slap in the face. Again, we was talking about Brian Schottenheimer, man, getting this doggone this hire, man. Yeah, they got to go back to that logo too. I think they going back to that, David. Me and Derek was talking about that. But
see my cup. I had to put my cup up there so you can see it.
That's right.
Yeah. But I'll say this, man. Listen, I got 2 channels. Those of y'all who came on late, this is the replay where we still try to make your day sports show. 1 channel. I got the other channel is Black Vocracy. Now, without the K, it's just BLAC, Black Vocracy channel. That's on YouTube also, where we get into the whole things about metaphors of love, the relationship, the social issues that we have or we embark upon each day. So we'll be doing that, especially with African American History Month come up. Yes, I'm one of those individuals that still believe in that. I do believe that the education part of this thing, man, is very, very important for our youth. So I got this teen summit that I'm going to that's coming up, and we're going to try to do more and more in the city of Dallas in the future. Along with some of the other programs, working with our Sports Business Institute as well as student athlete camp. By the way, I will be sending out, y'all see this, if you got nephews, you got cousins, you got sons or whatever, I'm getting back into defensive back training. Derek, my brother, my guy right here, man. He used to get on his knees and every Sunday, man, we would play throw up football. He was older than me. He would get on his knees and make me run and tackle me, you know, and stuff like that. This is my brother though. He came out and worked with me, man. I came out, you know, he coaching the kids, man, in the high school level, but he came out, man. We work with those kids with student athlete camp. So that's what we're going to be doing. We got that coming up in March. So I know you got your track stuff too, Derek. So I'm still going to hit you up and we'll figure that part out too. But in the meanwhile, David, man, the pleasure's all mine, man. Thank you for coming on. We're gonna do this.
I'm gonna come to Houston in March, man. If you got something going on in March, I'll come down there and be a part of it also.
Okay, March 22nd, up at Lamar High School, man. We got the student athlete camp. And March 29th, we're still trying to solidify some stuff with what we want to do with that in Dallas as well. I'm talking to some people behind the scene now. So yeah, man. I'm once we able to cement everything, man, I'm definitely gonna put this thing out there even more, because as y'all know, we didn't get a chance to talk about stuff like NIL and what's going on in that space and how these kids are really not, you know, if you're not that top tier, man, that top tier, that dog, they going straight into the portal.
And I got some of a lot of kids too.
Yeah, a lot of kids, and Derek, you see it every day.
I see it every day, man.
Yeah, and I got some of these college coaches' numbers in my phone, man. I'm talking to them, and one coach, I won't mention the name, just straight out told me, he said, man, we got 22 kids. We trying to get out of the portal. That tells me that we have to teach the kids the business behind the sports.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody, even if it wasn't that, everybody's not going to make it in the NFL. So we have to have that orientation type conversation with them as well. So I definitely keep you in mind, David. Because like I say, man, any friend or brother with Derek is definitely a friend of mine too, man. So we're going to keep working, man, and keep God's assignment out front, man, and go do what we got to do. So, man, I want to thank y'all for coming on with me again, man. It was a blast, man, right here on the replay, but we still trying to make y'all day. And I'll be back, like I said, on Tuesday evening. We got the Black Voxy channel with featuring Metaphors of Love while we listening, and we'll be on TikTok doing that too. I think I got to get that TikTok too thing down. But in the meantime, man, don't forget to hit that subscribe, like, share button, and notification. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And we're going to be back doing the replay where we still trying to make it day. Man, peace and love. And thank y'all brothers for coming on, man. So to y'all that came on the chat, I appreciate y'all for staying with me on the chat. I go to Mega Sci-Fi call, man. Tell me, dog, I wish I could play that, man. Yeah, but big shout out, man. Everybody came on the chat, man. I appreciate you, David. Appreciate you, Arthur. Appreciate you, Sherry. Appreciate everybody that came on. You may not chat it with me, but that's okay. I know you were sitting in the audience. It's all good. It's all love. So peace and love, y'all. We're gonna be back on this thing again, and hopefully maybe next week after the game tomorrow, we'll see who did what, and we'll come back and talk about it. It'll be the Super Bowl, all right? All right, man. Peace and love, man.
Peace and love.
Peace and love, brother.